Hi everybody, today we are going to learn how to use Google Meet, an online video conferencing platform. There are two different ways that you can set up a session with Google Meet. You can either create a one-time meeting where you send a URL, invite people via the Add People button, or you can send them a phone number to dial in. The other option is scheduling a session through your Google Calendar. Let's start by showing you how to schedule an individual session. First, we want to open up your web browser, such as Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, or Safari, and make your way to the Google homepage. Once you're on the Google homepage, we're going to go up to the top right corner and locate the 9 dots or squares, which is where your Google apps live. Once you click on that, we're going to locate Google Meet. Mine is in my top section because I utilize this app a lot. Yours may be further down in the list. Don't panic if you don't see it right away. Let's go ahead and click on this. A new web page will appear. To start your meeting, you're going to click on the Join or Start a Meeting button. This is where you can go ahead and join or start a meeting. You can either type in the nickname or code, or you could just leave it blank. It is totally up to you. Let's go ahead and name this Test 1, 2, 3 and hit Continue. Once you're ready to join, we're going to hit Join Now, and your information on how to add others will appear. I would recommend clicking the Copy Joining Information. A little notification will appear to let you know that it has been copied and pasted to your clipboard. The other option is to click on the Add People button, and you can go ahead and choose from your suggestions list, or you can go ahead and type in an email and invite individuals that way. Now let's go ahead and create a calendar invite and invite some individuals to our meeting. So to end this meeting, we are going to go down to the bottom and click on the little red phone. The meeting is now over. Another option is, like I mentioned, to schedule through your Google Calendar. So let's go ahead and go back to the Google homepage. We are going to go ahead and make our way back up to these 9 dots and go to Calendar. Once you're in your calendar, we need to find a spot where this meeting will live. Let's go ahead and click on this spot right here. And we're going to click on More Options at the bottom next to the blue Save button. This new pop-up will happen. Let's go ahead and name this Test 1, 2, 3, and we're going to name it Google Meet. We can choose our time right here. I'm going to go ahead and choose 11:05 a.m. And we don't need this to be recurring, but this is a great option if you'd like to set this up for classes or meetings that happen every month, week, etc. We're going to click on this, and you can customize it in addition to choosing any of these options that are already available. The most important part about adding Google Meet is coming down to this Add Conferencing button and choosing Hangouts Meet. This will then generate the link that we saw on the other example when you set up a one-time meeting, but it will be automatically attached to your Google Calendar event. Let's go ahead and add our guests in now. I'm going to invite Helen, and I'm going to invite Laura to our event so we can look at some different options available when you have multiple people in the Google Meet session. Let's go ahead and hit Save and hit Send. And as you can see, this has now popped up on my calendar. When it is time for your event, you are going to click on the calendar invite, and you can just come over here and hit Join Hangouts Meet. A new tab will appear, and you'll see yourself on camera. Let's go ahead and join now and wait for our participants to come in. Now is the time where you are going to wait for all individuals to join your meeting. Oh, Helen has joined. Hello, Helen. So I want to start off by saying, since Helen, you are not presenting right now, if you could go ahead and go down to the bottom panel and mute your microphone. This will eliminate any type of feedback, especially when giving presentations. We just have to go ahead and wait for Laura, and then we will begin our session. If for some reason you need to go ahead and re-invite an individual or send the contact information to somebody, if you hit this caret right here, it'll pop up all the details about the joining of the meeting. And then we're going to close that out. Another option while we're waiting, because Helen is muted, we can come up here to this top right corner and click on the chat. And I can type in, "Hi, Helen," and go ahead and send that chat to her. She can then respond. And that way you can communicate with your individuals without having microphones on if somebody is giving a presentation. This is a great way to not interrupt presentations by allowing people to ask questions for the end or go ahead and make little notes along the way. Additionally, if you hit the people button right next to the chat, we can see who is invited, who is muted, whose screen is off, and you can also go ahead and add people in that way as well. When you're ready to close this box, you will just go back to your screen and click the button, and you will go back to the home section. Another option at the bottom that's readily available is turning on captions. So if I were to go ahead and click turn on captions, it'll actually begin to translate what I'm saying to be able to have closed captioning at the bottom of the screen. This is a really useful tool for individuals who may be hard of hearing or find it easier to be able to read rather than listen. So we're going to go ahead and turn those off. But as you can see, this would scroll. And if Helen were to turn her microphone back on, we would be able to see her little image underneath my image, and it would just go through a chat. Helen, do you want to try to say something to show the closed captioning feature?
Absolutely. For our presentation today.
Yes, it's such a great feature that's available, and it's free to use, and it's actually relatively great at transcribing. So let's go ahead and turn that off. One last thing is being able to mute yourself, like I asked Helen to do. You would come here and click on the little microphone right next to the hang up button. And if you'd like to turn your screen or your camera off, it would be the little video recording button right here next to the hang up button as well. For example, Helen has just went off and turned her camera off, and she can toggle that on and off. And like I mentioned, if you click on the people button, you can then see there what she has off. So for example, we can see right here that she is muted, and we can go ahead and pin her to the screen. We cannot unmute somebody else. That's really important to know that you're not able to do that. Only individuals can mute and unmute themselves. And we can also go ahead and remove her from the chat and session if we need to. All right, Helen, do we want to go ahead and present some presentations today?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you a presentation, and then we're going to go ahead and have Helen share her screen, and then that way you can see how it would look on both ends. So I'm going to go ahead and right next to the turn on captions, we are going to hit present now, and I'm going to go ahead and just present my entire screen. As you can see, it'll pop up to show what the individuals will be able to see. I'm going to go ahead and click on the one option I have and hit share. And as you can see, we are now presenting. Oh, hi, Laura. Thank you for joining.
Hello.
Hi. So are we able to see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So they're able to see my screen, and I can go ahead and, for example, pull up my Google Suite presentation and lead them through it just like you normally would on a computer. And this is a great way to give presentations, especially if you have individuals who are out sick or need to call into a class, so on and so forth. This is a way that you'll be able to do that. So that is what it looks like on my end. And when we go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and ask Helen now to share her screen so we can see what it looks like when somebody else is presenting to us. So I'm going to hit stop presenting, and it will go back, and you're now able to see the individuals again. And now we can see Helen's presenting. So this is what it looks like when somebody is presenting towards you. And she can go ahead and present her Google Slides. And what's convenient about this is the individual still stays there on the right-hand side. So as they're presenting, you're still going to be able to see them talking, see them moving, the hand gestures. So that being said, just note that you are always on the screen, even if you are presenting a presentation and sharing your screen.
Hi, we're going to look at some citations and plagiarism today. And if you'll notice, I'm using Google Slides. There's a pointer option. So there are tools available down here if you're presenting. And you can also add captions here as well if you need to from Google Slides. You can have Q&A. You can have notes. There are a lot of little tools embedded within Google Slides that work really well with Google Meet. So if you want to use those, they're there. If not, you don't have to, but those options are available to you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Helen. I appreciate it. All right, so now that we've went through and talked about all the different options that are readily available, I'm going to say that could be the end of our meeting. So we can go ahead and click on the little hang up button, which is the red phone that is facing down, and we can have everybody leave. We'll wave goodbye. And they will both click out, and I'll show you how it will look when everybody leaves the meeting.
Bye.
And we're done. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to myself, any of the librarians, and anybody would be able to give you more information about how to set up a meeting, how to make sure your participants are in there, and how to make any troubleshooting that you may need. Thank you so much.